Yeah, so the Ravens are obviously the team to beat in the NFL. They have the most well-rounded team right now. But when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, they have Patrick Mahomes, and that's a reason to be concerned, right? It almost looks too good to be true seeing Patrick Mahomes for a 4-point underdog in this spot. But I do think the Ravens are the better team. However, I don't want to play a side in this one. I can't trust the Ravens laying 4 here. I can't trust the Kansas City Chiefs getting 4. I could easily see the Ravens blowing them off the field, not blowing them off the field per se, but winning by a touchdown, 10 points. I could also see the Chiefs winning this game outright. So there's a lot of ways this one could go. But the prop markets are pretty lucrative here. I like Lamar Jackson to go over 66.5 rushing yards. Lamar Jackson's going to win MVP this season. We know that. He's been exceptional all season. And amazing to watch. He's currently getting 22% of the Super Bowl MVP handle on DraftKings right now. So again, people thinking he's going to the game and then eventually going to win it. But he's got to go through Mahomes. It's not going to be easy. However, the legs is going to get him there. He's coming off a 100-yard game against Houston Texans, averaged over 9 yards per carry with 2 touchdowns. And the Texans really had no answer for him. And I don't anticipate the Kansas City Chiefs finding a way to shut down his legs. The defense stepped up in key moments last week for the Chiefs, but Josh Allen had his way with them on the ground. Carried the ball 12 times for 72 yards with 2 touchdowns. He runs through guys. Lamar runs away from guys. And running away from guys tends to lead to more yards. So I think Lamar's going to have an even bigger game than the 72-yard performance that Allen showcased last week. The Chiefs do allow over 20 rushing yards per game to quarterbacks, which is toward the bottom of the NFL. And the Ravens are going to use Jackson in the designed run game. He's also dangerous when the blitz doesn't get home because lanes open up, defenders in the secondary turn their back, and he takes off and creates explosive plays. So look for Lamar Jackson to go over this line. I think the Ravens do find a way to win this game. And if I had to pick a side, I'm going to lay the 3 points with 3.5 points with the Ravens. But at the same time, too, I'd rather just play the props. Yeah, I haven't done anything with it yet. But with that being said, I like it more than a spread here. So probably lean under on the 44.5 total, just because both defenses are so good. And the Kansas City Chiefs, they want to lean on the run, right? We've seen it with Isaiah Pacheco. The offense almost goes through him right now. And in high leverage situations, obviously it's going to be Patrick Mahomes creating explosive plays down the field. But I don't see the Chiefs offense performing like they did last week, where they were creating these 7, 8, 9, 10-yard gains consistently. I think it's going to be a little more slow, methodical pace out of them. And then the Baltimore Ravens are going to extend drives with Lamar Jackson. They're going to hit the big explosive plays, but his legs are going to be able to keep the clock moving on third down. And I also think they're going to see a commitment to the run game as well, because the best way to beat the Chiefs, and even though the Buffalo Bills dominated time of possession last week, but the best way to beat the Chiefs is keeping Patrick Mahomes off the field. So look for the Ravens to keep a similar approach to the Buffalo Bills last week, even though the Bills couldn't find a way to come through, dominating time of possession. Definitely. It's the playoffs. Teams shouldn't lose by, more than a touchdown, but we're going to see that happen consistently, right? Because, games get away from coaches and stuff. But looking at this game, I do like the Lions plus 7.5. I think that's a hard line to resist. However, it's not my favorite play. It's not my main play, because there is a path for the 49ers to blow the Lions off the field, because Detroit doesn't really play a lot of defense in the secondary. And also, while they are very good up front, San Francisco 49ers have one of the best run games in the NFL as well. So I can see the 49ers finding a way to come out and dominate this game, but if I had to pick there, I'm leaning towards the Lions. But my favorite play overall is the under of 51.5 or 52, depending on the book where you can get it at. I got it at 51.5. And the biggest concern, though, I'll start with this, for playing in under is just this Lions secondary, right? They've been horrendous at times against the pass. The team ranks 25th in defensive real quarterback rating and 27th in defensive real passing yards per attempt, according to coldhardfootballfacts.com, giving up those big explosive plays down the field. If the 49ers start to throw the ball effectively, the Lions just won't have an answer for them because they are better on defense. So I'm going to take the 49ers in that case if this game becomes a shootout. But the best bet for San Francisco to win this game is to use Christian McCaffrey and pound the ball with him, because if you can keep the Lions offense off the field, they're really a non-factor with how their defense has played. Detroit also last played an outdoor game on December 10th in a 28-13 loss to the Bears. If the 49ers can apply that pressure, it's going to neutralize Jared Goff. I'm not saying he has a terrible game like he did against Chicago in his last outdoor game, but there's a way for this 49ers team to shut down Jared Goff, get pressure. If they make mistakes, going to keep points off the board, as well as Dan Campbell's aggressiveness. I think that could help keep points off the board here. But really, I just see a low-scoring, running the football kind of game. I don't think the Lions are going to hit the big explosive plays like we've seen in the past. And the 49ers, this offense goes through Christian McCaffrey, and that's going to keep the clock ticking as well. Yeah, big time players make big time plays in big game situations. This might not be the best statistical matchup for Christian McCaffrey because the Detroit Lions do only give up 88 rushing yards per game. They've been very good up front. But this Detroit Lions team also hasn't seen a run game like Christian McCaffrey in the San Francisco 49ers team. They're doing over 140 rushing yards on the ground this season. They have the best offensive hog index and second in offensive rusher rating, according to coldhardfootballfacts.com. They just get after in the trenches. So as good as the Lions are in the front seven, it's just it's too good of a line for Christian McCaffrey. He's gone over this in 4 of his past 5 games. And also, too, the Lions got to be worried about the secondary. Like, they can't load the box up and try to stop Christian McCaffrey, because if they do that, Brock Purdy's going to hit them over the top. I know Brock Purdy gets a lot of criticism, per se, that he might not deserve, but he's good enough to hit open receivers down the field, and there should be a lot of them against the Detroit Lions. So I do think Christian McCaffrey goes over this, though, because we see a commitment to the run game from Kyle Shanahan, and McCaffrey can turn something into nothing. And also, too, if the 49ers have the lead at the end of the game, that's going to result in extra carries for CMC. So look for him to go over this line.